gratify your ego, please, and you haven't subscribed to Salt Nation TV, please take a moment right now to subscribe. Hello guys, and welcome to this special edition of Just Saying podcast. Today, as you can see, I'm smiling very widely. Today is a very special edition on this podcast.
Yes, so
because today is our anniversary edition. As you know, on this podcast we talk a lot about family, we talk a lot about marriage, we talk a lot about love. So today I have a special guest in the house. That special guest is the love of my life.
Oh God,
my baby.
Oh my God, give me tissue, please.
So I have my beautiful wife Myra in here with me, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have her on the podcast.
Thank you.
So today we asked you guys for some questions, right? We asked you for some juicy questions you want to ask about us, about family, about our journey, and some of you have sent some questions, some really interesting questions,
banging questions, like questions that will shake you. Hey, we are ready.
So today we are going to answer the ones we can answer.
I leave the rest for the Lord. We cannot answer all of it now.
The ones we can't answer, we leave for God. So today we're going to be gisting with you guys, answering the questions that we can. So I have all of your questions here, but before we jump into the questions, I just want to give you a little introduction. So as you know, my name is Sir Victory Samuelson. This is my beautiful wife Myra Samuelson. We've been married for 5 years now. By the 26th of January 2023, we'll be 5 years
like together. Today
Abi? 5 years together.
Yes. So, 5 years, not 5 beans.
5 years married.
And 5 years.
But 10 years together. So it's actually a decade together.
Hey, wait.
5 years married.
That's how easy. How time flies.
I'm telling you. It still feels like yesterday, but then that's 10 years since I came with my limousine and took you for a day.
Let's not talk about the limousine. Who are we going to ask? Well, we are going to go to that limousine.
So let's jump right into that. I think that's a beautiful place to start.
Okay.
We're going to start by talking about how we met, right? How we met, how we started. Very briefly, right? Then we'll jump into the question. So I met this beautiful lady in college, in the university. We are both members of the same fellowship, the same fellowship NIFES, and when I was the president of NIFES, she was serving as the follow-up secretary. She was serving as the follow-up secretary of the fellowship. So it was not what people might say is love at first sight or anything. Because the truth is this. Now this is my version of the story.
Okay.
She had a crush on me from the first time she met me. Calm down. You know this.
Say your version. Leave my version to me.
So she had a crush on me from the first time she met me, but she was practicing self-control as a good Christian girl.
Oh Lord.
And so eventually, I think while I was the president, nothing happened anyway between us.
But your eyes were like browsing me, like.
So it was much later. It was in my final year, when we got into final year. I think that was when the burden of ministry was lessened, and I began to look around and say, okay, are you sure I will not see somebody before I leave here? And so that was when I noticed someone that was shining green light since, but I didn't notice.
Oh Lord.
So, and the green light now caught my eyes, and then we proceeded from there. I still remember our first date. This girl actually told me no when I asked her out. Even though she did die for me, she still told me no.
Excuse you? Do you know who I am? Do you know where I'm from? Do you know my level? I'm not cheap. You have to fight for me. I'm gold. So ladies, raise the bar. Don't bring it too low. Let them jump it. It's part of the sacrifice. Continue, sir.
We'll talk about why women behave the way they do much later. But for now, so that was it. I just remember our first date. I came with a limousine to her house.
You came with a keke. He came with a keke. Which limousine? Do you have money? You don't have shishi. He came with a keke. But because of what I saw, because I saw the limousine in his vision, I say I'll enter the keke as I wait for the limousine. But you came with a keke. Continue, sir.
I came with a limousine. So the limousine. packed, took her, dropped us, picked us, brought us back. Those were the days when we were rolling in box, right? So yeah, that's my own version of how we met. We don't have so much time to go deeper. Maybe later I'll get you on the podcast again. I will talk in details about some of the experiences. Today we just want to answer questions. That's my version. Do you have anything to add to this story?
Yes, please. Yes. So as a good Christian girl, I was there in college in NIFES, serving the Lord, focusing on the purpose and ministry has given me. And this brother was browsing me, my president. But when he now approached me, I was like, God, so this is what you've been doing, sis? But I had to go into deep prayers because the truth is that I had a crush on him. That's true. I had a crush on him, but I needed no distractions. I had a crush on him in year 1. So it was early on. I said, Lord, I can't carry this crush to your final year to crush me. So I needed to crush my crush. So I had to deal with that. So it was in final year, like he said, that he now came and I said, okay, I'm interested in you, blah, blah, blah. If he had said the Lord told me to marry, I would have escaped. So he had a way, he said it and I had to confirm from my end, and that was how we started moving. But before then, we've been friends.
Yeah.
We've been good friends. So the transitioning was not, difficult.
Not difficult, right?
Yeah, so that's how we met.
In all fairness, I actually didn't know she had a crush on me. I did not smell it. So that speaks to how much self-control she had. Because I didn't smell it at all, even though we were close until... when she told me.
No grief for anybody this year. No grief.
Okay, so we'll jump straight into the questions now. We have limited time, so we're going to address some of the interesting questions. Some of you sent questions that I don't understand.
They say as a teacher, I'm a digital teacher. I'm a teacher. If you ask a teacher a question that I don't know, you just say, take it as an assignment. So if there's any question here that we don't understand, we just give it back to them to take it as take home assignment.
Okay, so we'll just go straight into the first question. The first question is quite straightforward. It says, will you go for personality or looks? Would you go for personality or looks?
You want me to start?
You're the guest here, so you start.
It's not both of us that is doing the anniversary.
You go for personality or looks.
People of God, you want to hear what my mouth to say? You go for the both of them. Yes.
How?
First of all, the both of them are important because in marriage you need the two. Don't be too holy to say, I don't need the look. We marry what is inside. Leave what is in the house. Look at the outside. Leave the outside. Look what is inside. People of God, when you marry and you wake up every morning and you're looking at that thing that is on the outside, if you don't like that thing that is the outside, you be like, God, how did I get this packaging? So the personality is very important. You have to marry something you like, a fine man like this one, like this, after sharpness, where I go. So you have to balance the two, but you have to be intentional about the priority. Which one comes first? If you now have personality and looks, which one should come above the other? Personality comes first, but the looks is important. You have to like what you marry, but if you don't like it before, you now have to marry what you like.
So you marry what you like or like what you marry?
Marry what you like or like what you marry. So the two is very important. Let's not spiritualize marriage and now say no. It's how the person is speaking in tongues, how the person is a good person. Because in marriage there'll be a lot of, for the men, fine girls, you're going to be seeing them every day. And because you're visually stimulated, you need to be seeing that fineness in your own house. So
I think the two of them are extremely important. Marriage is too long to take risks. Like marriage is for life. So I don't think it's wise to take any risks of choosing one over the other. I think God has made it possible for you to find both in the same person, right? So you have to be physically attracted to the person you're
Yeah.
going to marry. However, looks should not be what seals the deal, right?
Yeah.
Looks, the idea is that you should be physically attracted. That's why you approach.
Yeah.
And then you now have to know the person. That's why we cut. That's why we now grow. And now, if you like the personality, if you like the direction, the person's purpose, the person's vision, if it aligns with yours, then you go ahead. But I think looks is the bait, and it's important because at many times in marriage, what you're doing inside the house for 24 hours is just being with each other. If you don't like that package, it's not going to be wonderful. So I think the answer generally is both.
So for me, which one? I find. So the two both of them like jump for you.
Okay, so we'll jump straight to the next question. I have no idea why this person sent me. Want to go out this weekend?
No, we don't want to go out this weekend. We are booked this weekend. We are not available. We are going for our anniversary.
I'm not going out with you this weekend. Okay. Okay, this question. We'll answer this question a little later.
Okay.
This one is really interesting.
Okay.
It says, how do you have sex?
Hey!
It says...
I said we should bring water to this. I talk let's have water in this thing. You say no water.
Hold on. How do you have sex? Do you moan or do you do it in a godly way?
Hey, God. People of God, people get mad though. The kind of question you're asking us, you get mad. Man of the house, you're going to start. You're going to, lead the way.
I don't know who sent this question. Anyway, we asked you to send questions, and you sent questions, so I can't diss you for sending questions. However, this is a very interesting question. It says, how do you have sex? Do you moan or do you do it in a godly way? First of all, I have to ask the person, if I know the person that is, what is a godly way?
What exactly?
What is a godly way?
Is there an ungodly way to have
having sex with your partner?
Yeah.
I'm one of those who believes that what happens in the bedroom between two people is their business.
Exactly.
As long as you're committed to each other, you're married, the person is your spouse, what happens there is between the both of you. There is no rule book on how to have sex. There's no rule book on how to have sex. However, in our experience, because we were both sexually inexperienced when we got married, because
oh my God.
Both of us were virgins when we got married, so we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So
that was the fun.
We've had to learn together. We've had to grow together. And so, if in the person's mind, what the person means by the godly way is
missionary,
come down to me, lie down.
Let me approach your holy of holies.
I shall come into my bride. And then, no, we have fun.
That's it, because I think the question, the direction the person is coming from. Some persons they enter into marriage, and that sex is like they don't want to fully express themselves during the process. Maybe they want to shout, they feel like shouting is ungodly. Yes, or they want to moan, they feel like moaning is for all these pornography people that they see. So for me, like you said, you have to be free. There is no ungodliness in having sex with your partner. Spouse. Yes, as long as people have agreed. And please don't, if your partner is expressing something, like you be like, what are you doing? No, stop doing that, stop moaning or stop laughing, or it's freedom. Because Bible says that the two were naked and they were not ashamed. So that is the part of marriage that you shouldn't be ashamed. So we do it, I don't even want to say, we do it a godly and ungodly way. We do it anyhow. You understand?
We do it as the spirit.
Anyhow, anywhere, anytime, any style.
But our soundtrack is nice.
Oh God. This guy.
My point is that there's no point pretending. The point of sex is pleasure.
Pleasure,
God gave you sex for procreation. God gave you sex for pleasure. So if you are not having pleasure because you're holding back, you're trying to be Christian,
speaking in tongues. Hey, come on,
if speaking in tongues is what comes to you,
hey, Father,
express yourself, have fun, be yourself, be present in the moment and just enjoy it. That's why it was given to you, right? So there's no you know, there's no godly way
Hard and fast rule.
There's no rule book to set. The goal is that you're exploring each other's bodies, you're understanding each other's bodies with time, and you're getting better and better at the act of how to please one another. So that's the goal. The goal every time you meet should be to please your partner as much as you can. So that's what it is. You know, that's how we roll. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Are you ready for the next question? It says, have you ever suspected your partner of cheating? Why winking?
Let me shake. The truth is that no, but as in suspect, like, is my king going? No, I don't have time for that. That is one major reason you should marry the right person. Marry a Christian. It's not even about marrying the right person.
It's not beyond that. Because a lot of people are Christians,
but they're still doing.
It's really about. I was talking with someone the other day, and I was talking to her about, you know, she got into a relationship and she was asking my advice about the person. So from the story she told me, I told her, can you trust this person's Christian conviction? Yes, I know the person is a Christian. But can you trust this person's Christian conviction about some of the key things that you believe in as a Christian? Can you trust their convictions on some of these things? And you know, from her answers, you could see that you know, she was not so sure, right? Because it's one thing, oftentimes we say Christians marry Christians. I think that's a very shallow way of looking at things. Marrying Christians alone
is not a guarantee. Yes, it will not happen.
It's about the person's conviction, and oftentimes you will tell from the courtship period. You will tell from the dating period. What's that person's? You know, for instance, we courted for 5 years, right? And if we did not have a mutual consecration about sex, we wouldn't have been able to. Possible. It was that both of us had it, and it was primary. It was key. We wanted to, you know, keep that testimony. So that was why it was possible. If not easy, but possible, right? Yeah. So have I ever suspected my partner of this? Absolutely not. Not for 1 second. That's never crossed my mind, because first of all, when you want cheat, we're together almost all the time. First of all,
I need to travel abroad so that you suspect small.
Okay. But the answer to the question is no. The answer to the question is no. We have not suspected each other. This person says
5 minutes.
Okay.
Are we gonna take this in 5 minutes?
Okay. So let's go briefly on a break, and then we'll come back and answer the remaining.
But we can ask the question then when we come back.
The question is, do you quarrel at all? When we come back, we'll answer the question on do you quarrel at all. We'll be right back.
I see you.
Marriage is like rowing a boat. One person can row a boat, but they can only get so far.
Things like this is why I signed those divorce papers.
Why didn't you tell me?
You really want to know? Let's talk about it then, shall we?
When we newly got married, she was our number one. Sometimes I love her, then sometimes I don't.
Well, he's definitely not number one.
We don't sleep in the same room. I sleep in the visitor's bedroom. She sleeps in the master's bedroom.
I'm sure everyone fights from time to time, but not everyone is about to get divorced.
Touché.
But all she does is nag and complain.
Fred, no one nags and complains without a reason to. Do you even have an idea what I go through on a daily basis?
There has been an accident. Anita is in the hospital.
Accident? How?
Have you ever told me why you didn't pick my call the day I lost the pregnancy? Have you?
You look good.
I mean, You didn't know I got to find out that you are on one of your little fine Millicent crusade?
I told you I was in the meeting.
Barrister Rita. Oh, you're right.
It took you 5 years to show.
Sign the divorce papers and let's end all this nonsense.
So we're back again, and we still have some really juicy questions to go through. So far, the questions have been challenging.
Nah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready.
There are still some tough ones.
Voila.
So this one says, do you guys quarrel at all? It says you don't look it. And it says who settles issues faster. So the person asked a complex question, two complex questions, but we'll take it in bits. So do you guys ever quarrel at all, and who settles issues faster?
Oh, we quarrel. Are we not a match made in heaven? But we a match made in heaven.
Ever quarrel? For what?
Are we're not human beings? How can we quarrel? We're angels in marriage. We don't. Why will you do such quarreling? Is for the lower human beings. Yeah.
Perfect. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah. You do me bad in last week. That's last week. I know my far. Forever, you know. But
actually,
the truth.
Beef last
Yeah.
Serious beef, sir.
Yeah.
But the short answer is yes.
Yes.
The long answer.
No. I think let's balance this.
Yeah.
For every couple, there will be misunderstandings. Steady. There is no couple in these words that say they don't quarrel. There will be misunderstanding. But the question you might be asking is, do we keep malice? I think malice is now when you now elongate it and you now want to do your partner evil and all that. Yeah. Because from our courtship days, we had some structures we put in place, some systems, and we have commonality in our virtues, in our beliefs, in our values. The quarrel level is very low. So
it's not frequent.
It's not frequent, exactly. And when we quarrel, God will tell you to go and reconcile with your partner. Do you understand? So yes, we quarrel, yes, we have misunderstanding, but we don't allow it to elongate for long. We come and we fix it and we move on. And we see our quarreling times as moments of understanding each other more, learning from each other more, bringing out lessons from it. That's one of the things we do. After each quarrel or misunderstanding, we ask, okay, what went wrong? What did I do? What did you do to contribute to this situation? And what are we taking out from it so we don't have a repeat of it? So for me, that's...
Yeah, to be fair, I've noticed that a pattern in our marriage is anytime we quarrel and we settle, it usually takes a very long time before we quarrel. We learn so much from that experience. We learn how to mitigate it before it comes again. But we do quarrel. We do quarrel, and sometimes it's a heavy quarrel. You know, sometimes it takes a week to really settle. Like, we're not beefing, we're not keeping malice, but you know, there's something that has not been settled. So it might take a week to actually have that conversation of, okay, sit down, let us talk. What went wrong? How did we do this? But like she said, I think the key is we always say that we try to find the problem, not our partner.
True.
So we always try to find out how do we deal with the issue, not how do I pepper my partner.
Oh, do you know when we started in our early years of marriage? I used to pepper him. Hey, God. You know, when somebody messes you and you want to like give it to him like hot, and then I will use silence treatment. I will just so. It happened early on in the marriage, but the Lord has helped us to know that that is not the way out. So like he said, when we quarrel, we are not attacking each other, we are attacking the problem because we are in the same boat. So we are trying to save our marriage. We are not trying to like destroy or ruin the marriage.
I think that's one thing God has really helped us with, because I don't think we have ever quarreled before and said hurtful things. That's never happened. Not who you are. Why did I marry you? That kind of thing has never happened. Never happened. So it's often a matter of I don't like what you did. It's not a matter of, because oftentimes couples quarrel and instead of attacking the issue,
they're attacking themselves.
And if you allow your emotions to get so vile and bitter, there's something in your heart that's looking to hurt that person. And there was something that I used to do. It was a vow I made to myself when we got married. And I said that I would never stop doing the things I do for you, even when I'm angry with you. So you can see we are angry, we're not talking, but you see anything I used to do for her before, I'm still doing it. I'm still going out, I'm still calling her, what will you eat, what should I buy, how do I do these things? And initially you didn't understand it. Initially my wife almost hated the fact that I was doing those things. And
I would reject those things.
And she was rejecting it because she felt like we're not talking, we're not independent. Why are you doing all of these things? So she almost tried to push those things away and, but over time she understood that this guy is not going to change this thing. This is a vow I made to God. I'm not going to stop being your husband because we're going through a rough patch, right? So I'll keep doing the things that I do, and over time
I learned it.
Now even if we're not in a good space,
you may not know, sir.
You may not know.
You will not know.
We still do for ourselves. And you adopted it as well. We still do for ourselves the things that we often usually do in normal December until we have that conversation. We now sit down and say, draw out the lessons, how can we get better, and then we move on. So
So who settles first?
Who settles first?
I think lately I have. Initially you went.
It was me. Always, but lately I think you've been initiating reconciliation much more frequently. So I guess right now we're 50-50. I started to fish half.
How you can do that is how you have to balance it.
So we do quarrel, but God has helped us. Then the person also asked, how do you handle your family finances? Is there any particular plan, or you just go with the flow? If there's a plan, please share so that some of us know, some of us who are coming up can learn and maybe adopt. How do we handle our finances?
I don't even know what to say again.
Why is it?
I'm trying to see how to piece it together. I think the angle I'm going to come in from is that we don't have a rigid structure to how we handle our finances. The first mindset that helped us is that we know that our money is our money. His money is my money. My money is his money. So that mindset really helped us. So I'm not any money to search it somewhere or use it for. It's not any money. So we are transparent with our finances. So if there is a need in the house, obviously he makes more money than me. Glory to Jesus. And I'm here to eat the more money. Do you understand? So if there is a need in the house, he takes the responsibility of handling it. He takes the lion's share in that, in that regard. But if there is a situation where I need to step in, I jump in. Like there's always an opportunity to come in, so I step in and I contribute my own to the quota. So that's
so I think basically like recently we've been trying to build some more friend structures. We want to open a joint account to be able to save together and have a general pool. But I think one of the things that we've done right from time is, like you say, we're transparent. We often have a plan. So like for this month we know the things we need to do. So we know, okay, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. Can we afford this? If we can't afford this, let's do this, let's do this. So just make a plan, right, and then go ahead. But more recently we are trying to create a more structure. So like now we're running submission, we have a company account, we have a joint account, we have, so we're now trying to apportion money. Because we're expanding.
But at first it was
initially
all the money.
Just, I know what she has, she knows what I have, and then we know what we need to do, and then we do what we need to do. And that's it. So but I think transparency is the key.
Yes, it is. And knowing that your money is not your money.
It's not yours.
That's because this generation, some of them they just want the man to take care of everything. Even if he does it, you will have the money as a woman, but you won't bring it out. Hey, God help you.
I think it's very important that you understand that finances is common. It's common, it's for both of you. If there's a need, if the man can't handle it and
you can,
why not? It will have become one. So I mean that's how we approach it anyway.
But that's not a license for the man to be.
It's not a license for the man to become,
now.
To become irresponsible. The truth is that the man is the provider. The man should provide for the family.
Yes.
And I believe that the woman should supplement man should help
To help
if
us.
he's unable
Yeah.
to. That's how we understand it anyway. And that's how
We've been running
we've
it.
been running it. Yeah. So, okay, this question now is specifically to Lady Myra.
Hey.
My question is to Lady Myra.
Okay.
When you decided to say yes to Sir Victory, were you 100% certain that you wanted to marry him, or were there still some underlying doubts and fears?
All right. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? So when he asked me to marry him, let me give a quick backstory. When he asked me to marry him, he had a lot of girls around him. He's a woman man, a ladies man. So he had a lot of girls around him, and they were all falling over themselves for him. Me, Asha, me, like, what are you feeling like? What are you feeling like? But somehow he had eye for the person that was not even falling. You understand? I just positioned myself well as. So when he asked me and I went into prayers, I got a confirmation that he is the one. But beyond that, I had to also confirm other things. So the first thing is to confirm from the spirit that, okay, this is the person that God wants you to marry. But you have to also open your eye and look like the person, the character, the values, the ministry, because as a woman you're coming to help. So these are the things that I observed and I looked, and it strengthened my conviction. So I was going in 100% sure that he was the person. But at the point I didn't even want to continue with the marriage. Sincerely, I was like, oh yeah, all of you are flocking to you. Just have him, just take him, let me go and find.
I used to tell that I always felt as if she wrapped me as a gift and was handing me out to the closest person, because I didn't know what it was, but she just had this attitude of, there are too many people around you, and I don't want the pressure. I don't want the pressure. If you want to have him, we can have him. I was like, is it not me that is asking for you? It's me that is asking for you. Why are you that? But that was at the initial time.
Yes. So what was I even saying? I've lost.
Sorry for. That's what you were saying. Now you were saying you always felt like they can have you, that there was too much, but you didn't want to go ahead with the.
There's something I wanted to say in conclusion. So I was 100% sure. Okay, so I wanted to say that at the point I wanted to back out, but the Lord told me something very important, that if this man marries another person and fails in life, that his blood or this thing will be on my head. So that was if this thing goes south, I'm going to hold you responsible for it. So that was like a warning, a very strong warning from the Lord, and it was also another confirmation that this is it. So I was 100% sure, but sometimes we have some persons that have fears and doubts. What I would advise is for you to clear those fears and doubts before going ahead, because if you carry those fears and doubts into your marriage, it will color your attitude, your action in marriage, because he might be doing something, you're scared he's gonna cheat, you're scared that he's still in love with his best friend. So there might be a lot of fears and doubt, but please clear them before you go. Yeah.
I think what you said is really, it's very interesting what you said about what God told you, because you have no idea the number of men, great men with great vision, who have been ruined by the wrong marriage. Just marrying the wrong person. Man, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. It can destroy everything God has put in your hands. So so thank you for
agreeing.
Thank you for agreeing.
I'm reaping my rewards now. Can't just see me.
So I think we've handled that question. Let me see. Tony Samuelson.
Kilo Shelle.
Did you always have his attention whenever you wanted it from day one, even when you didn't see?
Have your attention. I don't know if I understand that.
Like in marriage.
Okay.
Have my attention, or was I distracted? Was I distant? Was I?
I'm a fine girl. You have to give me attention. Naturally, if I enter a room, your attention should.
It's not that her love language is attention. Our love language is attention.
But naturally, you're attentive to me.
Yeah.
He's a magnet. You're attentive to me naturally, but he sometimes is distracted. He's not distracted by other women. I can't. There is no competition right here, right? I know. My merchandise is good.
Yes, proud.
No, I'm just glorifying the Lord for what He has done through me. So I would say I've had his attention from day one, because even in the midst of all those ladies that were around him when we started, he still gave me attention then. So yes, I've had his attention from day one, but through the course of our marriage, he had reasons to maybe distracted by his vision. Distracted in quote means giving more attention. Now maybe he has a work he has to really do, and he will spend hours doing it. So yes, there have been times of distraction, and it is now me that will now come and say, man of God, my king, you have to stop small and come and give me attention. So it is me that will call for that attention, but yet it happens.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you complained about a number of times is I have a tendency to withdraw.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to we could just be together now. We're just together. We're laughing. The next thing, boom, I'm out. I'm in the room. I'm just in the room. So I have that tendency, which I think a lot of men have. So initially you didn't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, so did I do anything? Why did you suddenly leave? And it used to translate to you as that I wasn't giving you attention, but it was just after a while you realize that sometimes I just needed that space. I'm someone who is a little claustrophobic, so I could just be in a space and I just want to withdraw and just have my space for a while and then come back, and my battery discharges fast. So but I think over the years she has understood that that's just me being me. That's not me not paying attention to her. So we've gotten better at that. So yeah.
Okay.
Says, did you sit down? So present continuous. Do you sit down together to do some form of planning, goal setting, assessment, and measuring of your progress as a couple? And is there anything like shared roles and responsibilities?
Are they together? Are we taking
different questions?
Okay.
The same person that asked it, but two different questions.
So which one are we taking first?
Do we sit down to do any form of planning, goal setting, assessment, and measurement of our progress as a couple? We just did that a few days ago.
Yes, but before it was informal.
Yeah, before it was often informal. Yeah.
We just do it on the go. He knows what I'm working on. He's supporting me. All these my videos. He's always there helping. For him, I know what he's working on. I'm supporting and helping. But it was a few days ago. We had to now sit down and draw up the goals for the year. Okay, what are your vision for the year? So it was more. It's like we went on a retreat where we shared our goals, our visions, Well, to be fair, every year, beginning of the year, we often have a retreat. But I think the difference with this year was the planning. Yes.
The planning was more
detailed.
It was more extensive. Yeah. But every year we have a retreat. We, thank God for the last year. We look into the new year project. We pray about it, and then we plan. But I think this year we did. Again, maybe because we're expanding and a lot of things are beginning to happen at the same time. So we needed to be on the same page, so to speak. So yes, we do assess, but oftentimes, even like she said, even informally, we still do a lot of the assessment. Informally, like I said, most of the times we quarrel, it's usually a time for assessment. It's usually when we come back and we sit together, we say, okay. And oftentimes you find out that this thing that annoyed the person has been happening and you didn't even pay attention to it. So we find out, okay, this. Have we gotten better at this? How can we get better at this? So I think, formally and informally, it's a little bit of both. Says, are there any things like shared roles and responsibilities?
Definitely. I think you have to answer this question because you have there's a dimension you brought into the marriage that I loved. When you talked about, okay, you're the headmaster and this one is the assistant. I can't remember how you put it.
I think basically for us, the structure of the family is basically like I'm the president, she's the prime minister, she's the head of government, I'm the head of state. So I'm the figurehead, so to speak. The truth is, you're the one in charge in name. You're the one that provides the resources most times, but she's the one that does the execution most times. She's the one that runs the house, she's the one that does Almost everything, you know. She's the one that even tells us how to spend the money most times. We plan, I bring everything to the table, then she's free. So basically she's the executor, and then I'm the one who, oftentimes the vision comes from me. You know, the ideas, the vision comes from me. But then once I've shared the vision, also because I'm not a very detailed person, I'm creative. So once I get the vision, I get an idea, I say, oh yeah, this is it, over to you. She's the one that does the breakdown, the arrangement. So, but do we have any shared roles and responsibility? Yes. I think almost all our roles are actually shared, because even in that execution, when you are unable to do it, I step in. So I think there are shared roles and responsibilities. Even in taking care of the home, for instance, my wife does most of the home this thing, but even many times I also come in, many times I cook, many times I serve her. Many people have never served their wife food before, but it's something that happens very frequently in our home. I enter, I cook, I serve her with tray, I bring the food and I serve her. So I mean, yeah, we share most of the responsibilities, but I think the thing is that they are the ones that are major. You know that running the home is majorly her, then provision and this is majorly mine, but we come together and do both either way.
So I remember an illustration that you gave. So when we're talking about shared roles and responsibilities, so you say that for like in the kitchen department, that I'm like the one in charge of the kitchen department, but you are also there to assist.
Exactly.
So
tell me what I need to do.
Exactly. So maybe we want to cook and maybe I'm not feeling fine, you step in.
Exactly.
So you're not like leaving the kitchen to me. No. It's a shared responsibility even in that kitchen, but we know that the person in charge is the wife.
And being in charge means that you can also, I often tell her, means you can also give instructions.
Exactly.
You she can tell me, come and cut this, come and do this. That is the space of your authority. You have authority over
exactly.
And the other person is there to assist. So
exactly. And the beautiful thing is it also gives you the opportunity to take a break, because I don't like washing plates. He's the one that does the washing of the plates in the house. I swear. I tell you guys, it's one of the blessings I thank the Lord for. As in, he will share the testimony of the washing plate later, but I thank the Lord that he prepared him to wash the plates in this marriage. Because what would I have done with those plates? So being in charge of the kitchen, I know I should be the one to make sure there is food available, but when I'm not able to, he steps in and helps. And that is the same way he's in charge of provision, but when he's not able to, I also step in.
Exactly.
So there is no one, you're the one doing this, I'm watching you. If you don't do it well, this my wife, you're not cooking well, you're not. No, we are in it together. It's just that one person is taking the front row. Exactly, he's head of department. Another person is now assistant.
So I think that pretty much settles it. Have you intentionally kept your love for each other on fire? Did it ever go down and need rekindling?
Fire on. I think we're going to take a break.
We'll take a break here
and come back.
We have one more section. I think there are a few more questions to go. So, but we'll take a break now. Then we'll come back and answer. I think we just have like 4 more questions to go. All right, so we'll be taking a break right now. We'll be back very soon, immediately after this break.
So if you need to know if our love is firing, just
back after this break. All right, guys.
See ya.
My name is Enyinaya Kachi, a graduate of pharmacy from 7 years ago, and a poster child for Nigerian unemployment. This is a day in the life of a young Nigerian hustler.
She's back.
Hustle. How you survive through life every day.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the last section of this our wonderful Q&A session. The questions are long.
Tanya, you should pay me for all these questions you have said.
You didn't expect the length of the number of questions we've gotten, but it's a good thing.
We're happy to share.
We're happy to share with you. So we're going to go into the next question, just like I read before the break. how have you intentionally kept your love for each other on fire? Did it ever go down and need rekindling?
Yes, we use gas. We don't use kerosene. That's how we do it. Gas will burn very fast, and longer. Hey, God, the gas starts.
But I don't think we've ever experienced the love going down thing.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever experienced, because I remember at the point we had that conversation of like people told us that after 2 years or
it did not be cold.
feeling the love.
Yeah, the butterflies. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, we have not experienced that. I don't know whether it's maybe our own experience after 5 years.
We are waiting. Sisterly,
yeah. We really have not experienced that.
I don't know if there's maybe something we are doing that's
the problem. I don't even know. Do you get? I don't know why, but I just know we've not experienced that. And I do think that one of the contributing factors is we're just very good friends.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not even really the butterflies. We just enjoy each other's company. So much. So
it's not serious marriage.
Yeah, we're not serious people. I think that's part of the problem. So we're not, all okay, my lord, you're welcome home, and then go and do this and another. We're just friends, and I think that friendship we are really good friends. I think most couples say that their spouse is their best friend, but I think with us we are really best friends. So I guess that has contributed to it. But do we do anything to keep our fire alive?
Oh God, I pray.
The thing is this. When we think about it, nothing might become apparent. But the truth is that there are a lot of things that we do that we become used to. So it doesn't seem special to us anymore. Just take, for instance, being considerate of one another is something that is missing in so many marriages, and it's shocking at how not common that is. For instance, we went to buy food today when we were coming to the office, and you bought food somewhere else. I didn't want to eat there, so I went somewhere else, bought something else, and I just bought something else, but I saw something that I knew you would want to eat, and I just bought it without even telling you. Right? So when you came, you just asked me, "Did you buy this for me?" And I was like, "Of course." So those little acts of love. I didn't think about it, and you knew I would do it. That's what was funny. You knew I would do it, even though you didn't ask me. I think it's those things. It's
being
those little
intentionality.
Being intentional about loving your partner. Paying attention. Like for instance, during my last birthday, you went out of your way to buy me something that you knew I needed at that time. So it was just being thoughtful, being considerate, paying attention to that person and being considerate. I don't see how a marriage will dwindle if that is happening consistently. So I think it's not anything grand, it's not anything special, but it's just the consistency in being considerate, being kind, being considerate of others and caring for people. So I don't think it's anything grand. We've not, even till now, we've not even really done a honeymoon. We've not shut up. Let's not
go there. People of God, let's not go there. Let's not go there, because some people they don't want to do what they promise, but we'll keep enduring, we'll keep having patience. One day,
get your honey.
I trust you. But the 50K you promised me for the book, I never get that one. Just send me the 50K first. Uncle Biko said you got the 50K. Guys, you didn't know that one when I chasing the only book. So I think for me, what I'll add here is that talking about the fire going down, that means there was a fire present. And what people experience when they see a fine girl, a flashy girl, the butterflies in your tummy, those emotions going high and up and down. When you guys get married, it's like you're seeing the person every day, and maybe that tendency of I've seen you finish comes in, and you're looking for something new. So I'm going to approach it through this dimension. So whatever it is that you were doing that kept that fire moving, keep doing it. Exactly, those little things you were doing for your spouse, keep doing it. If there is a way you used to dress that he likes, don't get married and now say We are married. We've gathered. We are nothing. There's nothing else. We have locked the door. Nothing. This is me. See me as I am. Or forget it. So be intentional about keeping those woods that kept those fire burning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Keep those wood there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I think, I think that's a very beautiful response. So just keep doing the things that you did at the beginning. I think that's one thing God has really helped us to do. Like,
so you wake up every day and you say, what will I do to make my partner love me, or make my partner smile or make my partner feel good, or you're waking up every morning and you're like, I'm marrying this person for the very first day.
Yeah,
that is one of the things that have helped me. I'm waking up and say, hey, I'm marrying this is the first day of our marriage. That love, you wake up and say, I've not married my king
I've
today.
not been married to him
today. Exactly. So you're approaching it with that novelty, that excitement, that passion. So if you want to cook food, you're cooking it like, I want to mesmerize him,
and you do that
exactly. So you're not like, he's my husband, it's come on.
It's not like baby, we have Gary. That being romantic is not complicated. Being romantic is just doing the same thing you would have otherwise done, but doing it in a special way. So like I could let's say you need a phone. I could go and just buy you a phone and say, "Nalapa phone." I just drop it, or I could write a note. I could just hide it and tell you go put here, go here. I still just bought a phone. Basically, it's the same thing, but I just presented it in and it just adds some spice, right? So I think it's just those. It's still the little things. Someone described caring for someone as anticipating their needs
and meeting it.
So if you pay attention to your spouse, you know what they need at time. And let's not go into that. There's a lot, but it will shock people how much we know about each other. Like down to your cycle. Like I know your cycle, when it starts, when it's ending. I know, like we know everything because we are paying attention to one another. So nothing takes us by surprise oftentimes, and very rarely.
Except the birthday surprise and the honeymoon surprise.
Everyone wants to surprise each other.
The honeymoon surprise the honeymoon surprise that you're going to.
This 5 years has been a honeymoon already.
Man of God, it's not a new honeymoon.
Okay, we'll move on to the next question. We've taken way too much time on that question. Next one is my question. This person has a number of questions. He says, what was settling down like at first, especially in the first few months or year, probably? What was settling down like?
For my king, let me talk for you. For my king, it was not easy. He's a man of his space. So at first, it was like, oh my God.
You should always be here. Wait, is it every day?
Can we take a break? It's funny.
Can we take a 1 week break?
When you start relationship early, you can't wait to. You want to.
But again, it's because there was a distance.
Exactly.
We were living together.
Yes.
So it was like whenever we meet,
it's like,
specialness. But when we got together, I was like, wait, for me, it was like, is it every day? I wake up and come back every day. It was difficult. It was difficult for me because I like my space. I remember saying that oftentimes when we got married. I remember the first time you traveled. My wife traveled and said she was going to see her parents, and then she was going to stay for, was it a week or so? And I was like, oh, but internally I was like, I beg.
Yes.
I was like, I beg, go first. Let me be on my own and chill.
Let me breathe my own air
But then what shocked me was that after you left 2 days, I was like, I beg, come back. I beg, come back. So I didn't know that, yes, I needed my space, but I had become used to having you around and having that company that I felt so lonely in just 2 days. And I said, I was like, pack your bag and come back. So it was surprising. But then again, that points out the fact that men oftentimes we say we need our space, but we need our space as long as you're around. So
but
right?
not every time.
Not too far away. Like we might not be sitting with you every time. I might go to the room. I might just drive, go out and visit a friend or something. But the goal is to just have a little time to myself. But I don't want you so far away that you are too distant. So sometimes I can be in the room, you're in the parlor. I'm still feeling your presence, right? It's like I'm having my space, but you're around somewhere. But if you travel or leave, that's a different thing altogether. It becomes very uncomfortable. So I think it took us a little, it was not so smooth. But then
for me, it wasn't a problem. I enjoyed his company. In fact, I wanted him to be around me all the time. But what shall we do? You have to go and work and make the dollars. So, but another aspect I'm going to come in is settling in would have been more difficult if we don't have healthy habits.
Yeah.
As a human being, who are you? What kind of habits do you have as a person? Some persons, maybe they will use the toilet, they won't flush it, or they will eat and drop it.
So constantly irritating.
There's a lot of things that because you're now living with them.
Yeah.
So if you don't have good habits as a human being, settling in will be difficult.
I think one of the things that God helped me to do was I was very intentional about not wanting to be a burden to my wife. For instance, I learned how to cook in school in university because and the main reason I learned how to cook was I said I didn't want to be a burden to my wife. Like what if my wife is sick? What if my wife? What will happen? So and I think I also started learning personal hygiene. You know, I was like, okay, bro, you have to. You know, I'm not perfect yet, right? I still have my issues, but I think it's intentionality. It's just being intentional about. Don't irritate your partner. Don't because those are the things that.
I've had some ladies really complain about that you have to pick up after him. He does this one, that's it. Oh God! So it's just build healthy habits. Just be a better woman being.
That really helps. Okay, so it says, how did you both deal with third parties, especially family and friends, visiting during the first few years? We didn't really have.
We didn't have all those.
We stayed on our own for at least the first year, almost the first 2 years. We had people that would just come for one day and go, but we made sure we maintained our space. Because we needed to become one, to bond. So we didn't. We're actually not very big on people coming to visit as much. You know, very close family, yes. Very close friends, yes. But even that.
I think our family and friends were wise. I think because
they were wise to give us that.
Yes, it's not what we did. We didn't tell them don't come. They were wise. They were just not always there. They didn't say I'm coming to visit.
And I think it really helped.
Yeah, it's really helped. So I don't have my mother coming to say I'm going to stay for 1 year or you know there was nothing like that.
I think those things are not healthy for a young couple.
Yes. To have a lot of family members come and
because there's the cleaving process that happens once you get married. You're supposed to be paying 100% attention to one another.
Exactly.
If you have too many other people to pay attention to, I don't think it helps for that initial bonding. Just like, you know, I've noticed that many times couples who didn't have children immediately tend to have a better relationship than couples who had children immediately because oftentimes the children come and take your attention as well, distract you. But if you stay together alone,
learn one another.
You learn one another better, so it helps. That's not to say you shouldn't have children. All of those are
subjective.
Yeah, they're subjective, but it's just something that I've noticed.
But if you have people like barging in and visiting, you have to set boundaries.
Yes, you have to. You have to
really set boundaries, especially from
like someone can't come and visit us without telling us. You just come and carry your bag and come out. It can't happen. You have to come.
So especially from the man side, you have to like put your food. Even from the women, you have to like decide. Okay, we're not going to have everybody, you know, the whole village coming to stay with us, especially for the first few years.
The first few years, yeah. Okay, so this person says, what about finances? How would you encourage a lady that is getting married without a job but has a little business and intends furthering her education later on? In a case where the partner doesn't want to marry her while in school.
It's a different question.
What about finances? How would you encourage a lady that's getting married without a job but has a little business and intends furthering her education later on?
I think what I would say is
exactly. Discuss with your partner. Is he ready? On the same page.
Yeah. Is it?
you can't do anything. Just be on the both of you. If both of you agree, then go ahead.
So if he's willing to take on the responsibility of furthering your education, let him say. If he's not, go and look for a job that will further your education, so that you not now carry responsibility that a man did not plan and
exactly. So if he says he's not going to do it, don't marry, and when you get there expecting to
exactly. He said it.
So I think just be on the same page.
So don't assume that he's going to do it. Ask him.
Be clear. Be clear. In a case where the partner doesn't want to marry her while she's in school, which will make the relationship longer, even when she's explained it to him that she can handle it, what should she do? So this person wants to get married while in school.
In school, yeah.
And then the partner doesn't want to get married to her while in school, and she has explained that she can handle being married and being a student. Again, you're not on the same page. So I don't know why it's urgent for you to get married, unless maybe you're aging and you still have many years to go. But then again, it's something both of you have to agree on.
Yeah.
I think it's something you can't force him to marry you while
you're in school,
because he knows what he's
getting.
He knows the challenges, and he also might not want to
take that responsibility.
It might be the responsibility, financial responsibility. It could also be he knows because I'm trying to imagine as a man being married when I was in school. I would have died. Like, it's really that simple. And then people like, what if you get pregnant?
Yeah.
What about? So I think there are a lot of considerations. I personally don't advise people to get married while in school, unless maybe you're getting on in years and there are a few considerations to take. We don't know the full story of this, but I would say you can't force him to marry you while in school. He has his reservations. However, it's something that both of you have to be on the same page with. So if he's willing, there are many people that are married students. So it's something about, are you willing? Does he know what it entails? And it sounds like he does, which is why he doesn't want to. So does he know what it entails, and is he willing to carry that burden? So I think, if you can be patient, school highest 3 years, 4 years, you're done at the maximum. Assuming you're in year 1. If not, it's 2 years or something, and you'll be done. And if not, if the person can't wait and doesn't want to marry you now, that person is not right for you.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't know the full story, so don't take this as us giving you direct advice of what to do.
Just you can inbox us with the details.
Yeah, you can maybe inbox us and tell us a little more about it. All right, so we've answered something similar to this. This person says, how did you know he was the one, Lady Myra? But they now asked you, did you have a drawn list of requirements?
Chai, I had a voice say unto me, my daughter, PDK Victory Samuelson is your husband. Go ye in this might. I didn't have such a thing.
Did you have any list like your own?
Okay, now I'm talking about how do you know he was the one. I didn't hear any audible voice and all that. No, but I had an impression in my head. I had some scriptures that God gave me. So if I have a list of so how do I know he was the one? I got my spiritual conviction personally, not third party. Not my pastor told me he's the one, not my mother told me he's the one. Personal, I was convinced on my own through my place of prayer and relationship with God.
Very important.
That's number one. Then the other thing is the vision, the compatibility, the personality, the looks, all those ones, all those carnal things. It also helped me to say, okay, he's the one. Because if I'm not aligned to his vision in life, then we're gonna be like, always at loggerheads. So those are the things that helps me. So I got a spiritual conviction, and I got a ministry conviction. Then I got the personality conviction, because we are not going to be doing ministry all the time. We're going to be living together. So can we live together? Exactly. Exactly.
That's one thing.
Yes.
They are looking for someone that is perfect for ministry
alone.
And they forget about personal life. And you find that 70% of the time you're just together, you're not doing ministry.
Exactly.
And so you have to make sure this person is fitting for you as a person before we start talking about the compatibility in purpose and in ministry and all of that. So if I have a list of requirements,
I don't think I ever sat down to draw a list though, since I can't remember saying that he must be tall. I know that I wanted a godly man. That one was on my list. But I've always loved dark guys. So it's not like I say it must be a dark guy, but I've always loved dark guys, tall guys. He's actually my spec, but I didn't sit down to say, okay, I'm now looking. If he comes and he's not like this, I cancel him. No.
So the thing is that she saw me, she liked me, and became her spec. So
Jesus.
Like when you fall in love with the person, become like that is your spec.
Yeah. Okay. Right? Move to the next question. Move to the next question. So
this one says, all through these years, how have you been able to manage financial slowdown, times of financial difficulty? So was your wife able to get fixed with either a job or a business that supports her financial level as someone who was working before marriage relocated her? So first of all, we were living in the same place when we got married. We did not relocate immediately. We relocated after, and it was both of us that relocated after 2 years. After 2 years, we relocated. So so how have we've had times of real financial difficulty. When we got married, we were not doing excellently financially. But we knew it was time, because we just felt that conviction. It was time to move ahead. How did we handle it?
For me, if I'm answering the first question, which is how do we handle financial showdown, financial showdown is what happens in life. So I think one of the things is to plan, to have a savings, to have a reserve when you have plenty.
Yeah.
So that when you experience financial showdown, you can now get the reserve and help yourself. Then another thing is that when you're in a financial showdown, it's two of you and your husband. Is in my husband exactly. So I'm not antagonizing him. There's no food in this house. You cannot even give me enough money to cook soup. This food you gave me, there's no meat. So we are in it together. So we are experiencing the financial showdown together, and we are working towards getting out of it together. So it's being in that boat of financial showdown together and not fighting your partner that is not providing.
Yeah.
So that is, I think that is how we've handled it.
These questions are really a lot, and I really thought that we'll be able to do this in a shorter time. So, but we'll have one more section. We'll go on a break, one more.
Oh,
then we'll come back and
gosh.
answer the remaining 2 or 3 questions. Right? All right. So, guys, we'll see you shortly after the short break.
Peace out.
Hello, this is Sir Victory here, and I'm with my beautiful wife,
Lady Myra.
Welcome to Salt Nation TV. This is a platform where we are committed to creating value-laden content, safe alternatives for you to enjoy, the kind of content that is pure, is clean, is God-inspired, that you can enjoy with your family, you can enjoy with your children, you know, from podcasts to TV shows to movies to short films to all kinds of juicy content, including amazing music. So that is what we do on Salt Nation TV.
So to support us, we would love you to subscribe to this channel. Please share it widely to your friends and ask them to subscribe. And please always like the videos, leave a comment, and share to other people to enjoy. Please help us make this content go viral.
Thank you so much. Now go and enjoy all the amazing content that we have for you.
Thank you for subscribing in advance.
Ciao. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Welcome back.
So this is hopefully the final section of this video.
There is no item 7 in this your podcast, Uncle. No puff or shit balls. No water.
So as I was saying, see the word you got for me, so it's falling out of my hand.
You have to expand your capacity.
You bought this word for who you think I'm gonna become.
Speak it, my Lord. My man of God is here.
So alright, so let's go on. This person says, I think it's part of the first question, the financial student says, was your wife able to get fixed with either a job or business that supports her financial level as someone who was working before marriage relocated her? So marriage didn't relocate you instantly, you relocated you after 2 years.
But it's still relocation.
And you quit your job at the point of relocation. So I guess the question is, how did you handle it after that?
Okay, so when I relocated, I had no job. I came into Enugu jobless. So, but as a lady, you've got to get a job, because in this time and age, you have to be supporting your family, your husband financially. So I went into online teaching. For those of you that don't know, so I took my teaching online, and I've been doing that for 3 years now. So that is how I've been able to, increase my financial. In fact, my financial level has increased. What I was earning,
like 10 times, 10 times of what you were earning when you were still working.
So that was how I was able to move.
Okay, so this question is for me. It says, how did I meet my wife and the convictions? So I've already answered how I met you. So convictions.
Get fine. Get convictions in it.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, yes, I was attracted to you physically. So that was that. But then when you talk about convictions, I think at the time when I met you, just like you said, there were also a lot of ladies in the picture. A lot of people that I also was attracted to, I liked. But I mean, oftentimes when people ask me this question and I tell them it was God, it always sounds like
very spiritual,
trying to be spiritual. But I mean, really, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I had all my options. I brought it to God. I said, God, see this person. I just said, help me. I need to make the right decision for myself, for my purpose, for my vision, and all of that. And the thing is not that you hear an audible voice from God, but if you just approach something prayerfully, there's something that is heightened in your spirit. You become more sensitive to observe the most important things, right? So there are a lot of very, very nice ladies, beautiful, elegant, spiritual, all of that. But the more you interact with them, there's just you just know it's not this. There's just you basically become more spiritually sensitive to it's just like, take for instance, if you're praying for, I remember when I first when I was a bachelor and I first paid the rent for my house, it was a 3-bedroom flat in Okade. When I paid, I wanted to buy cushions, right? Palo cushions, and I wanted specifically a coffee brown cushion. And I started praying and saying, God, I need money, I can't afford it, but I need to do it. And it seemed as if all the places where they build furniture in Oka, my eyes open to them. I used to cross those places all the time.
You won't notice.
I never noticed them, because something I was praying about, suddenly my eyes just start seeing it everywhere, and I'll start seeing brown. As if I was seeing brown cushions everywhere. I've all these cushions been here before, right? So I think that's what prayer does. It makes your spirit open and sensitive to seeing the answer to your prayer, so to speak. So I was able to, so whenever I interacted with you, there was just that, like when Elizabeth talks about
baby in your womb
when she met Mary. So I had that experience. I just knew this is the person. We had a lot of difficulty. We didn't have a very smooth courtship. We had times when we almost broke up. But even at those times, when you just go back, you just know that this is the person.
Does not go back.
This is the person. Go back. So there are many times I had, maybe for that podcast, I'll share some of the experiences we had. But I'll just know that this is the person. Just go back to this person, right? And so we'll always come back. So so those were my convictions. Alright, so this person says, congratulations on your anniversary, sir and ma. Thank you so much. I wish you many more blissful years. God bless you. To my question, he says, for the first time in my life, I prayed about a certain guy concerning marriage. I felt peace and a go ahead in my spirit. We've always been friends, but since that time, he has been bringing up talks about marriage and my plans for the future. He recently told me he has an issue with ladies always flocking around him, whether he woos them or not. He confessed that he sometimes leads them on just for the fun of it. Now I'm scared and can't stop feeling like I'm being led on.
Hey, sister, I'm leading you on. No? Sister, if the brother has not told you pump and plain that I want to marry you, there's a leading on happening to you.
This is the way I'll say it. Now, the truth is that oftentimes people don't talk so much about it, but men love attention. Men love attention. We love the attention of women. Anytime there's a man that women like a lot, we enjoy it. That's the truth. However, there's a very thin line between enjoying attention and leading people on. Leading people on is where you now start having unnecessary intimate talks with that person and dropping suggestive comments that makes that person feel like you're interested in them, but you just want that person there.
But you don't want the person to go.
You don't want the person to go. You don't want the person to come close. You just want, and that's witchcraft. That's wickedness as far as I'm concerned. That's just pure witchcraft. Honestly, that's witchcraft. Because you're leading. I've had to cancel so many people with this same issue. You have 5 ladies and you're leading all of them on. It's wrong. However, in this particular situation, we don't know the context again, so I can't tell you that he's leading you on specifically. However, we always say that if a relationship has not been defined, make sure that you keep the privileges that are, how do I say it? A normal friendship has privileges that accrue to it. A courtship has marriage has privileges. So make sure you don't give the person more than they have committed.
So he should have access to the privileges of the already defined relationship.
If the person is serious and wants to marry you, the person will say it well. If he says it, he has defined it. And then that way, so you say you've prayed, you felt peace about it. So assuming you've done your due diligence spiritually, it means that you know that this person is the right person for you. However, your knowing and his knowing are two different things. That person has to also know for themselves, be convinced for themselves, and do the necessary things.
And it's even dangerous if you push yourself onto this kind of man. Oh, that's not the one chose there. You're the one that chased him. So you have to keep mute and make sure he's the one that comes forward and say, okay, now let us.
We are very, very adamant that a man should do the chasing. Now the thing is this, just like in our case. there's something called positioning. Positioning and chasing are not the same thing. Women can do positioning. Yes, women can. For instance, you position.
People of God.
You position. So positioning is like. It's what we call green light, so to speak. But it's not outrightly chasing the man and saying, I like you, I want to marry you, I want this. It's not that, because I just personally do not subscribe to that. It's a turn off for me. It's an instant turn off. The moment I know you're chasing me, it's gone. There's no hope whatsoever, right? So, but you can position yourself. In other words, know you're available. But the beautiful thing about positioning is, again, having boundaries, having very strong boundaries. So the person knows that you're here. But if the person asks or pushes for anything beyond what he has committed to, refuse. So there's something about you force a man to commit by your attitude. If the person really wants you, that person should be bold enough to say what they want. Should be bold enough to say what they want. So even if you are positioned, let me say I'm positioned, the man will not take you and just be whatever. No, I'm positioned, but he says no. I'm in a relationship. Why would you ask me for that? Right? So that way, even if the person hasn't yet had a conviction, the person will go and seek that conviction and then come. So I mean, that's, for me, define it. If the relationship is not defined, do not give unnecessary privilege.
And another thing is that one thing God has given ladies is intuitive ability. So now you're feeling scared that you're being led. It's possible you're being led on.
It's possible.
So it's better you listen to that intuition,
and
that
keep
thing.
your distance.
Exactly.
Keep your distance. So if the person wants to,
instead of building castles in the air and moving.
Exactly, because this person has fallen in love.
Problem.
So you're already at the next. So if you have those boundaries, keep yourself, have those boundaries, then that person should make it clear what it is that they want. Any relationship that's not defined, abuse is inevitable. Yes, sir. Yeah, so I think this is the last question. Is it? Yes, it is. So this is the last question. Okay, second to last. This one now is about our differences. It says, are we similar or are we different, and how do we handle our differences?
Oh God, we're similar and different. There's no two person is exactly the same thing.
We're actually quite different.
Yeah.
Actually quite different.
How in what ways are we different?
Just our natures. Take for instance, you're very detailed. You're a very detailed person.
Structured.
My wife always wants to write down everything. If I tell my wife I want to do this, she tells me, when do you want to do? What's the date? What's the time? When are we starting? When the thing pisses me the hell off. So me, I just want to have that.
To swing it.
I want to how do I would say that? I want to wing it.
Yeah, you want to wing it. Yeah, you're very spontaneous.
I'm very spontaneous. I want to just. I can wake up one morning and say boom. It was like when we were together, we shocked my wife. I just woke up one morning and said I'm going to lose the house. So that's what I talking about, and that was it. And I moved and. So I'm spontaneous, but you like being meticulous, you like being planned, you like being structured. So we are really different, but I think in so many other ways, we're different in so many ways, but we're also similar in a lot of ways. I think when it comes to our values, when it comes to things, we are similar. Our beliefs, our values, our convictions are basically the same, but the way we approach it, the way we execute it is different. Then again, you're a woman and a man. That alone is a difference on this one. Like, I often say God was playing a practical joke when he said I don't know what he had in mind, but but I think how have we handled those differences for me? I think realizing that they complement each other.
Exactly.
They complement each other. Now, over the years, I've grown to really appreciate your nature of being very detailed. If you were like me, we'll be in the bush right now. That's just the truth, because we'll be in a forest somewhere. That's just the truth. So I began to appreciate that God gave me a perfect match. I'm spontaneous, I'm creative, I have a lot of ideas, but oftentimes I don't have systems to execute those ideas. And so oftentimes nowadays we've been able to, I just tell you what my ideas are. Oftentimes you say, let us talk. Oh my God. And then we sit down, we start talking, and you ask me very uncomfortable questions. I don't like being asked those questions, but they force me to think deeply about the ideas, and I say, okay, you ask me, how do you want to do this? What's the best way? If I say, give an idea, you question that idea. And the more you do that, the more I'm able to come up with systems, or you give suggestions of systems. So I think just knowing that our differences complement each other. Because people often struggle with differences because they rub the wrong way. I'm very uncomfortable when you question me. Sometimes I say, stop asking me questions. I don't like those questions because I'm like, just allow me to flow. Let me flow with the matter. But somehow, but when I realized that this is complementing, I've learned how to endure. I don't necessarily enjoy it, but I've learned how to endure it, knowing that it's working together. Yes, for my good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, that's how I've handled it.
Okay, so for me, I think the angle I'm going to come in from is accommodation.
Okay.
There are differences that don't really complement, like behavioral differences. If you are watching a movie, my husband, hey, if he goes out and come out, he will take it back. As in,
I'm a filmmaker, I can't miss it.
He can, oh my God! And he'll come and just, I'll be like, oh my God, let me just tell you what happened, because I want to get to the end. So, so there's some things that he would do behaviorally that is not how I would naturally do things. So that difference for me is creating room for each other's differences. You're not exactly. This person should be their self fully in your presence, and it's their difference that makes them who they are. They won't start like when we got married newly. He wanted me to be serving him like. We are still doing it. He wanted me to be serving him like proper, you know. But for me, where I'm coming from, we eat anyhow, anywhere, you know, like we eat together. So it was a difference for me, but I understood that this is who he is, and this is what makes him who he is. So I have to accommodate that difference and enjoy it. So now when I look at it, I admire it. Oh, this is different and unique, and I learn one or two things from the way he does things differently from myself. So that accommodation and knowing that the differences also complement is beautiful.
All right, we are at the home run.
Finally.
Final question, and this one is this question says, forgive me, I mean no harm. I don't know why Nigerians start questions like this. Why you apologize? You didn't do anything wrong. I understand. It says, I'm just wondering, I've not seen a picture of children. Do you have any yet? And if not, how have you been able to cope, especially your wife? I've been only 4 months married, and I'm not finding it funny, as I want it to happen fast since I did not marry early.
Okay, so you want me to answer? Okay, so to debunk, or how do I say that? This is the first thing, to clear the air. We are still trusting God for children, and they're coming soon. So get ready to come and tell me. Alright, so we've not had children, and how have I been able to handle it? God has been helping me. That's the summary of this thing. So I think I've had a very I've had good support system from people too. My husband has been very supportive. I've not had pressure from him. I've not had pressure from my family members and friends. I don't know, maybe like I think God surrounded us with wise family and friends, so we've had the right support system. And another thing is that we know that we are in the plan of God. That conviction helps you understand that no matter what is happening in your life, as long as you're a child of God, God is working all things together for your good. That perfect end that he has promised you, he's going to make it happen. It may tarry, but it will speak at the end. So that confidence in what God has said concerning us and in the promise he has given us just keeps me at rest. Sincerely, I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed like this. I'm not awake at night crying. No. I'm just trusting and believing God and doing what he has asked me to do. And God has, I want to say it's magical, or it's crazy. God has filled me with joy. I don't know. People expect that I will be sad, or I don't know. I don't feel those sadness. God has helped me and filled me with joy. So I have joy even while waiting. So I think God, family, friends.
I think it's really important, because when we got married initially, we weren't trying to have children. We didn't want to have children immediately.
We want to enjoy ourselves.
We don't want to have children immediately, but even when we started trying, there's been some difficulty. But like you said, there's no doubt in our hearts that it will happen, right? So we really are not fretting about it whatsoever. And I think one of the things that has really helped us is every year, every month, every day that you don't yet have children, there are some things that you can do now.
Yes.
And oftentimes, when I talk with people who are dealing with this thing, oftentimes I find that they are just waiting to action.
They're just like,
and it's a problem.
It's the next big thing.
Because it's many times it stymies them. They are in one place.
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years before God, and you've wasted 2 3 years doing absolutely nothing. So for me, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. For instance, I remember when we shot our first feature film, Playing Pretend. One of the things I thanked God for that was that we didn't have to create. Because I kept imagining how we would have accomplished it if we had to at that point. So, that's not to say we're not expecting, that's not to say we're not doing everything we should medically, physically, spiritually. We're doing everything that we should do. But don't waste the waiting period.
Exactly.
Don't waste the waiting period. And for me, that's the key.
That's the key.
For every moment, if you go out, my wife is furthering her education. There's stuff you can do now.
Exactly.
There's stuff you can do now while you're waiting. So rather than sit back and mourn over the fact that it's not yet there, there's a lot you can do with that time that you have. Use it so that when the children come,
you're prepared.
You're prepared and you're far advanced than where you would have been. So for me, my advice to people who are trusting God for children as well is don't sit there.
Don't be idle.
Don't be idle. Don't just sit there waiting for it. Oftentimes when maybe your wife's period comes, there's this devastation, and then you go back to depression, and by the time you're out of it, it's to the next ovulation, and then the next. I mean, don't wrap yourself in that cycle. No. We have a lot of plans. Like, look at all the plans we have for this year. There's a lot to do. If the Lord blesses us with children now, yes, some of those plans change, and we'll be grateful for that. But we have to plan with our reality. We have a lot to achieve, and the more you are achieving those things, when those children come, take for instance, we had children the first year of our marriage. Those children that suffer small poverty, right now, if those children come, they'll be comfortable because God has blessed us. That's the truth, right? So we have walked to where we are. We keep walking. So for me, I just don't sit idly waiting for it to happen. Find out what God would have you do right now and do them. For me, that's what I would say to that person.
And to add to that, find the right people to support you.
And don't pressure one another.
Yeah, find the right people to support. One of the things that have helped me is I have a community, the brethren. They are there to support. I have sisters in church that pray for me. So I have a support system. Yeah. People that don't tell you, hey, there's some girlfriends that you don't need in your life. They will just pressure you into. There's some, you don't need them. Find the right people. Pray that the Lord will send you the right people.
That have told us all kinds of things. Buy this, do sacrifice on top of here, go here. What's all that? So there's a lot of unnecessary pressure that you don't need in your life.
So surround yourself with the right people, the right energy, and have complete, absolute trust in what God has said concerning you.
And a lot of every bad in good situation has something good that can come from it.
True.
It's something. Like we recently started doing a study about people who have had delays in marriage in the Bible. And we're having so many powerful revelations from those studies in scripture. In fact, that it's even now growing into a book that are waiting. So I mean, there's so much good that can come from
the waiting
what
period.
Is your waiting period? What is your challenging period?
And I think it might not even be children. It can be anything you're waiting for in marriage.
You're trusting God for. The waiting period is important. It's important that it is a productive period.
Season.
That is not just a waiting period.
And
you're just waiting and murmuring and crying, and it doesn't help anybody. There's so much you can achieve within that period. So and don't pressure one another. You're in it together. Right?
Don't blame
anybody. It is we. Marriage is we. Marriage is we. It's always we. Right? So I think that mentality alone would really help you. So that's the end of the questions.
Okay, so do you want to ask me a question?
I have a question for you. So
I have a question for you. Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's the question?
My question is that if someone say something that they will do, they will do it. I mean, you have to tell us now when you're gonna pay me my 50K. It's 20 seconds. 3 weeks are gone. You say if I finish reading book for 3 weeks, you pay me 50K. I finish reading book. Tell us when we are getting a lot.
No problem. I'll pay.
When will you pay, sir?
Half it.
When will you pay?
You trust me.
I trust you, sir.
That's what
when will you pay?
So guys, Guys, we've come to the end of today's podcast. It's been a very interesting period. It's always beautiful talking with her. I talk with her every day, but it's still always beautiful talking.
You have to start paying me all this joy I'm bringing into your life.
So, as I was saying, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying this. This is, like I said, this is our anniversary edition. We're also recording so many podcasts addressing so many issues on love, fatherhood, mentorship, relationships, men's issues, and all of that. You know, and you'll be seeing a lot of that content. Please make sure you like this video, share this video with your friends, make sure you subscribe to the Salt Nation TV channel, and follow us on our social media channels at Salt Nation on Facebook, at Salt Nation on Instagram. But then you also have Myra and Victory on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. Myra and Victory, you can also follow us there. So so that's the end of did you have fun?
I did.
Alright guys, so till when next we see, this is the Just Saying podcast. We've said so many things, I hope they've helped your life, but what do we know? We're just saying. Till next time, I remain Sir Victory.
And this is Lady Myra signing out.
God bless you.
Bye.
Come save this one.
We did not kiss.
So it's enough for us, partner.
We did not kiss. Let's not go there.
Okay, we are right back and we are ready to talk about how to detoxify your ego. And you haven't subscribed to Salt Nation TV, please take a moment right now to subscribe.